What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Atletico Madrid won, Manchester United won. Smash and grab settings. Anthony Elanga's late goal cancelled out João Felix's first half header in the Champions League round of 16 first leg at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium in Madrid. Joined by the panel, as always, this evening. I'll start with Marcel, because Marcel is he's the optimist. He's the positive one out of all of us. He's the person I aspire to try and be. That's kind of the optimism I try and bring to everyday life. Marcel, overall, look, even Anthony Elanga's late goal can't mask what was at times a really difficult performance for United. But how do you feel coming out of that one?
We survived. We've literally just about survived that fixture. I'm surprised that Ralph played the way that he did. You know, he showed them a lot of respect to change the whole system and shape, because of late we've been playing quite well with, the one holding and the 2-8s. So I think everyone had to adjust, but they protect that middle of the pitch so well, and they cover a lot of it as well. So we were trying our best to get down the sides, but just proved to be very, very difficult. And then we conceded a goal so early. And it's just, when you concede a goal that early against this kind of team, super pragmatic, they're just so happy to see that kind of thing happen. And a lot of poor performances from our players. Everyone was a bit maybe shaky, no good passing. No, the first half was terrible, honestly. It was so bad. But, they at the end, they had good players. Kondogbia played very well. I think he played very, very well.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, for us, really, to get the result is a positive, and to be optimistic is a good thing now coming into Old Trafford. So 1-1.
Super chat from Red Baron says, we got back to Old Trafford with an advantage at home, attack them there and we win. It was always going to be difficult in this environment tonight. So Red Baron with the positivity as well. Faz, I'll come to you next. Really difficult game at points. First half, as Marcel mentioned, really poor, and it looked like it was going to be a really, really bad night for us. Smash and grab settings, do we just take it and go back to Old Trafford and say, yeah, we got away with one tonight?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Extremely lucky. Luck was on our side today. They hit the poster crossbar twice. So it could have been easily 3-1 to them, or even 3-0, Extremely lucky. I'll take it any day of the week. And I've been saying it recently, we've not been playing like, when we're playing at home, we're not really playing at home. We've not been really playing like we've been playing at home until we've been getting the results. So it'd be interesting now to see the fans get behind the squad and really push for a win, a hard win as well when they do travel over here. Overall, the game in general, I was very scared, as soon as they scored. But since last time Ralph made his substitutions, this time I was like, actually, let's see it through. Let's see the game through, and yeah, the 1-1 will take any day of the week.
James, what do you make of that? We were chatting before we went live, saying that, first half, James wasn't even going to come on. Afterwards, I might be busy after watching that performance, but we've got out of it on level footing. Would you say United are in pole position now going into Old Trafford, despite it still being level?
What United's going to turn up, mate? Because that question totally depends on what United turns up. Because let's be honest, we were very, very lucky. And I mean very lucky tonight. First 45 minutes, if you'd have interviewed me an hour ago, I was not a happy bunny, mate. I was not happy bunny at all. We were very lucky. We didn't perform. We were like a rabbit in the headlights. We totally choked to a man in the first half. No one escapes criticism. But at the end of the day, 1-1, obviously no away goals, but it's a draw. If we go back to Old Trafford and we beat them, then, we're through. But it's easier said than done, because tonight didn't fill me with optimism that we can go back and get the job done, because we didn't really outplay them in any areas of the pitch, and we're just very, very lucky tonight.
Super chat from Ray Diaz says, before harping on how poor we were, Atletico deserve respect and how good they were. Comments on Matchview, always how crappy we are without context. Marcel, we got to talk about Anthony Elanga. Comes on, grabs his goal. It's an interesting one, because I think the Elanga discussion and probably the Rashford discussion go hand in hand, because he comes on and replaces, I think it was Rashford, didn't he? I mean, what do you think of Elanga, and what do you think of Rashford as well?
Well, Rashford's been playing poor, as we all know. And I really want that to change at some point, but it just doesn't look like it's going to change. I mean, he's shooting from 40, 50 yards and hoping. So, but Elanga, we all understand Elanga's game is to run, to press, and to break lines. He's trying to run and get in on behind defenders. He's been doing that all season. Every time he comes on, he brings energy, he brings pace. He's trying to quicken up the tempo. He's been doing that all season for us and coming in on moments and trying to, pull defenders left and right. And today, he sees the space. He gets into that space quickly, and Bruno's in a position to pass him the ball, break the line, and he has a good shot. It's very good. It's very good. A sub from Ralph again comes on, does the job for us. I'm very happy for him as well because he's a young lad as well. So that's good as well. But in terms of Rashford, I don't know what this man is doing. He's lost the ball, picks up a yellow card from losing the ball, trying to put in crosses. You should just cross that early. But I don't. And then he tries to dribble in the first half. He tries to dribble for like 5 or 6 players on the right side early in the first half. He's looking nowhere. He's not looking for passes. It's a really, really weird stage that he's in right now. But at the end of the day, he's a Man United player, so I'll continue to support him, and I just hope that he can get out of this period on.
Super chat from Lil Yo-Yo says, let's be real, Ranić had a stinker today, but we move and bring it back to Old Trafford. Rashford needs to live on the bench. Lindelof, best of a bad bunch. Faz, what did you think of Rashford's performance? Because obviously a lot of people during KG's match, you were talking about Rashford. A lot of people on social media talking about Rashford, wasteful with the ball, taking shots when he doesn't need to, poor decisions. And it's not the first time we've seen that performance from him this season. Where do you stand on Rashford's form at the moment?
Rashford isn't a bad player at all. I think he has extreme great qualities. He's having a bad time right now. Can he play out of it? But then we're not in a situation as a club where we can offer him that sort of time. We can offer him that sort of space. Points have to get on the board ASAP. Champions League, we have to win these games and we have to play with conviction, and we've got to take every pass seriously. When we're taking the passes, when we're trying to make a challenge, when we're trying to intercept the ball, when we're trying to run with the ball, everything matters. And right now, he's not the guy that he was. He's not the reliable person in that position that he's playing at all. Elanga, he comes on as if he's trying to prove a point, as if he's trying to take Rashford's position, as if he's trying to be on the starting lineup. Even Lingard isn't the same caliber as Elanga at the moment in terms of when he's speaking on form. Rashford's a Manchester lad, obviously. He's red through and through, so we'll be behind him. But honestly, we can't afford that at all. I'm not even not even bench. We can't even afford that. It's serious. Because even if we bring him on from the bench, he's not gonna, we're not gonna get anything from him. As soon as he comes off, as soon as Elanga comes on, look at the difference it makes. Look at and it's not just this game. It's not just this game as well. Elanga's obviously proved his value to us, even the last game, and previously as well. So, in all honesty, he needs to, like I was saying before about Sancho, my patience running thin, and with Rashford, my patience gone. He can't be starting big games like this. It's just not reliable enough at all.
Super chat from Ben says, match proves we need a DM. We also lack intensity. Red Baron says, don't know what people were expecting though. We always make these nights against Spanish sides especially difficult. Drop Rashford though. And Blue Dabba Dabba says, the Swedish guys were the best guys on the pitch for United. Lindelof absolutely solid, best defender, and Elanga generational talent. And Jamil says, Tellers over Shaw. We were talking, James, before we came on live here, talking about how Elanga comes on, super composed. You can certainly make an argument. I have no idea what Oblak's doing for the goal. He does the opposite of trying to save it. He sort of runs out of the way of the ball, which is kind of the reverse of what you expect from your goalkeeper. Yeah. But still, there's composure there. Talking about Wanda Metropolitano, big Champions League night. You still need to have ice in your veins to make the finish. And we were talking before that Rashford, when he was younger, he used to be that, right? Composure, score big goals, had moments where he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, would score goals. And it kind of feels like he's lost that a bit now. And is it a case of just going forwards, it's Elanga over Rashford?
Yeah, I think it is, mate. Aren't you part of the goalkeepers union? Aren't you supposed to defend Oblak at all costs?
I am, and that was terrible. Oh my God, it was the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great from him, but it was a cool finish from Elanga. There's key differences between Elanga and Rashford. Elanga actually reminds me of when Rashford burst onto the scene, and actually his trajectory was like this, his confidence was like this. And he scored plenty of goals, and he was confident, and he was taking people on, and things were coming off for him. And I don't know whether it's pressure, whether it's the paycheck, whatever it is, whether it's like personal life situations, but he's obviously not playing up to his capabilities at the moment. Alanga has come in and showed like a freshness. He's brought something fresh into the team. He's learning from his mistakes as well. So I know Marcel was really unhappy with Alanga when he came on against Leeds and the first chance because he rushed it, right? Yeah. But then you look at his goal against Leeds and then his finish to like much more composure. We've had Rashford for 7 years now. Rashford's not changed the way he's finished once in 7 years. He's played with Zlatan, Ronaldo, Rooney, Ibrahimovic, Cavani, not improved his finishing. Alanga's missed one chance and improved his finishing for the 2 chances since. So I just think there's a willingness to learn. There's a willingness to adapt. He's 19. He's not 20 for like another 2 months. I just think he could be the future of Manchester United, and I'm very happy to see him performing well. And we spoke in the press conference reaction about, you know, was it the right game to start Alanga? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough atmosphere, really tough stadium to go to. It's going to be hostile and all that. Was it the thing? Was it the time for the experience of Rashford or the experience of Lingard? Well, I'll tell you what, Lingard started the last game. Rashford started this game. Alanga's been the person that's come on both and changed both the games. So for me, he starts the next one. No questions asked.
Ray Diaz says, thoughts on Lindelof as right back, maybe play as defensive midfield. Marcel, that kind of ties into what I was going to ask you anyway. When it comes to Ralf Rangnick in this one, it's an interesting one because you could argue, does he deserve credit? The substitutions he made changed the game. But some people might look at it from a negative point of view going, did he necessarily start with the right team and certainly the right system as well? Where do you kind of land on that one?
That's a good question, Owen. I genuinely think we should have stayed the same. We've been playing well. Everyone understands the shape and the system and how to play with how we've been playing. We showed them a lot of respect. It's a big stadium. It's a big team to go to and play the way that we would want to play usually, you know, and how we have been playing. So I guess he makes sure that, you know, we're defensive first. But at the end of the day, we've started so poorly. And I don't think we expected them to come out and press us. We expected them to give us the ball and they'd look and search for that counter. So he's maybe set up for that. But I think we should have just played the way that we have been playing. You know, Fred is very, very well suited to that DM role and just would have slotted in. Obviously, Scott wasn't available, but he would have done the job. Fred could have done the job. Owen. So, you know, we should have played that similar style. That would have got, no one was around Ronaldo. Nobody was really around Ronaldo in the first half. And, you know, at that age, you need a system and an organization of players to facilitate your strengths. And he just didn't get that in the first half. And they protect that middle of the pitch so well. So, you know, and we was outnumbered in there, I think, as well, 3 for 2. So it just so many things played into their hands in the middle of the pitch. Players were nervous. There was not much options. All the options were in the defensive line. So the ball's always at the back. And the longer we had the ball, it felt like we were less confident. The longer we had the ball, it was like, okay, it goes back now, and now we're going to lose it, and now we're playing into their hands. So I feel like he made a poor call in that vein, in the sense that, you know, we should have just stuck to how we usually play. Maybe put a Wan-Bissaka in there and somebody a bit, and maybe Tellers as well. But, you know, we should have just played the same.
Faz, we saw a similar kind of thing to what we've seen recently when it comes to just halves of football being so different to each other. First half, really poor. I mean, you could argue second half wasn't a ton better. It was slightly better, but we still rode our luck at times there. Again, it's kind of the same question I asked to Marcel. Does Rangnick deserve credit for turning it around, or does he shoulder some of the blame for being like, maybe he set us up wrong?
A bit of both, I would say. And, you know, I think first half, the way we played, absolutely shambolic. Couldn't even keep the ball for 10 seconds. Couldn't even string a simple counter-attack, a simple going forward. How long did it take? It took us 9 minutes and 45 seconds or something like that to get into their half. In the first, when it kicked off, it took us 9 minutes. There's a professional team. It took us more than 9 minutes to get into their half. We couldn't string 2 passes together. We were sloppy as anything. We didn't know where the next player is. We going forward, Ronaldo was like almost the only guy in up top, literally alone, stranded. Rashford's not supporting him. Sancho, yeah, he's been playing really good, but again, maybe it's the nerves, maybe it's the size of the game, you know. got to him a little bit. He seemed a bit nervous, just all over. Bruno Fernandes's touch. Oh my God. I do not understand. He's either like someone said to me the other day, and I really disagreed with it. They said Bruno's either champagne or shit, and I really disagreed with it because I actually rate him really highly. And because I rate him really highly, I expect a lot from him consistently. And is it yesterday, James? I was telling you, the presser, right? We have an identity to play with. Where is your identity when you don't have a touch? Where is your identity when you're trying to cross the ball and the ball ends up in upper tier of the stadium? Literally, no touch, nothing. Even playing Lindelof as a right back, I don't understand that. It didn't make sense. Look at when the substitutions came in, right? Look at how Telles played when he came in. Why isn't he starting? He played with so much more confidence. He did two players. He took the ball through two players. I think he didn't nutmeg someone, and then he just he's off, right? We didn't have that. And even the goal that just first half was shambolic. Even the goal that we conceded, Varane and Maguire, no communication. João Felix, a little player, a 22-year-old little player, went and Superman headed the ball in. No communication between two towering centre-backs, by the way. Let's not forget, two towering centre-backs. Fred has a slip. Okay, human mistake. Fred has a slip. The man crosses the ball without looking as well. Go and check the replay. The man crosses the ball without looking. Absolute terrible first half. Second half, Ralph is probably drilled him, gone into them. Ralph doesn't look like the type of person to shout and go, be going crazy at the sideline. But I think second half, he's probably Ronaldo or someone. Some of the big characters in the changing room have probably drilled into some of the players and saying, what's going on here? What's going on? When Pogba came off, I was a bit scared again because he's one of our most creative players. But I can see in the comments as well, and I agree, Matic brought some sort of calmness.
Yeah,
brought a little bit of calmness to the field. Pogba was the way Atletico played. They knew exactly how to control our strong players. They were on us in pairs straight away. Bruno has the ball, they'll on you in pairs. Sancho has the ball, on you as pairs. But when they had the ball, no pressing, no nothing as such. We're extremely lucky today. Extremely lucky. Ralph, his substitution, he pulled it out second half, but first half, we can't be playing like this in the Champions League at all. It's actually embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing the way we played.
Leo says, Rashbeck jokes he needs to be less selfish. James, what did you think when you saw that starting lineup and you saw Lindelof at right back? Initially, it was kind of a feeling of, has he switched to a back three? And then is Sancho going to be right wing back? What's going on there? In the end, it wasn't. It was a flat back four with Lindelof as right back. Do you think Randy got that one wrong, looking back on it?
He probably did get it wrong, but I don't think it was the reason that we drew or we're going to lose the game. I think the players have to take a lot of responsibility. Like, you can look at tactical decisions, coaching decisions, but you've still got 11 players that have to go on that pitch and apply themselves and execute a game plan. And you cannot tell me that watching that for 65 minutes, that resembled anything of a game plan that Ranić had. The players couldn't string a pass together. They couldn't string a counter-attack together. They had no first touch. They had no passion, no determination, no fight, no desire. No nothing, mate. Nothing that resembled Manchester United. Nothing that resembled a fixture in the knockout stages of the biggest competition in the world. And Lindelof actually saved us early on. Before they score, he makes an excellent block. Excellent block. Which, to be honest, the positional sense of our other two right-back options, that probably doesn't get made. I think it's because he's a centre-back, he senses that danger, pulls across and makes that last-ditch block. So he did decent things. I actually thought he was the best of a bad bunch in the first half, and then he had to come off because he was on a yellow, and playing full-back when you've got no pace and you're on a yellow card is no fun for anyone. So maybe he got it tactically wrong, and we looked a bit better when Wan-Bissaka came on along with the other players. But maybe it just says Ralph doesn't trust the defensive capabilities of the other two, and he wanted to try and keep it tight. That's the only reason I can think of. But again, not the reason we didn't play well in that game. Would it have changed things massively? It maybe would have given us a few more options on the ball. We might have been able to push up a bit higher. But saying that, we had Shaw on the left and he didn't do that at all. So, I'm not really sure. Ralph got it wrong, probably, but not the reason, mate.
Super chat from Ben says 100% Maguire. Felix ran right in front of him, referring to the first goal. A lot of people, Marcel, have said about Matic coming on, changing the game, which is probably a fair assessment. What do you think of Matic when he came on? And also, it's kind of what James was saying off air, that did we actually miss Scott McTominay today?
Yeah, and the way that he plays, very dynamic, very strong, very physical in there. And I think we was outnumbered in the middle. For me, it just felt like there was just 2 of our players in there and 3 strong Atletico midfielders in there. When Matic comes on, he nearly gets Bruno in, to be honest with you. Split and pass, and nearly gets Bruno in. And he just looks like a DM. He sits there, protects the back 2, and just wants to combat and fight everybody and hold spaces. So it's like, that's kind of what you wanted in the first half. We just had no one picking up the ball. Everyone was in the defensive line. Bruno's even coming back in the defensive line, trying to play long passes to one player up front. It just didn't look right. We just didn't look cohesive like a team in the first half. And then when Matic comes on, he's protecting what we have, which was the 1-1 draw. I feel like McTominay would have come and given us a bit more energy and a bit more presence, running around, winning the physical 50-50s and stuff. But I don't think it would have been the big difference maker. I really think it was the shape. And you have to give credit to Atletico as well. I really do think you have to give credit to them as well. The strike partner of João Felix, what's his name? Correa? He was very good. His anticipation for anything that we're trying to play through the midfield, gets onto it quickly. João Felix, very clean on the ball. He was very good on the ball. Kondogbia, big performance as well. And even there, is it Rendinho or something?
Reynaldo, I think.
Yeah, Reynaldo or something like that. He played fabulous on the left side. He played really well on that left side. So they had good performances as well. So and that caused us a lot of problems. But I just feel like if we had played how we've been playing, I feel like our players understand how to play the 4-2-3-1 system. Or sorry, the 4-1-2-3 system. And with the 5 at the back, it just didn't look right. It looked like we was playing. It just didn't look right to me.
JK says, how is the team supposed to be motivated when your captain is unsteady Eddie at the back? And is Rashford injured or is he checked out for the season? Ray Diaz says, with that ref, McTominay would thrive. No yellows, probably. I'll tell you what, that referee. Oh, my goodness. Like, I couldn't believe it took to the final minute of the first half for him to give a yellow to Atletico. Now, I know we were bad, but my God, some of the stuff he was given was unbelievable. Some Ralph Rangnick quotes that will go to you, Faz, because Ralph Rangnick's been really critical of the Manchester United side. He said to BT Sport after the game, quote, after the performance of the first half, it can only get better. I still cannot believe what we did in the first half. There wasn't the necessary aggression against the ball. We were far too apprehensive on the ball. We didn't take any risks. We weren't vertical enough, and we just passed it around our own half. When talking about Anthony Elanga, he says, quote, I wish other players would take him as a role model, not because he's doing everything right, but he's just enjoying himself on the pitch. I wish we would enjoy ourselves on the pitch. So pretty big comments there, Faz, what Rangnick has said. What do you make of his comments of basically saying that, I can't believe what we were doing in the first half. We didn't take any risks. And people, maybe some more experienced names, should look at Anthony Elanga and say, he's enjoying himself. Why not I enjoy myself?
As a fan, I appreciate his comments. It's just straight up, isn't it? No beating around the bush. No trying to throw, dust into our eyes or whatever. It's just straight to the point. He's right, absolutely right. Rashford should be looking at Elanga and thinking, what's going on here? He's supposed to be looking up to me, and I'm getting subbed off, and my man's coming and taking my position. My man's coming and taking my starting position, and I'm supposed to be the future of Manchester United, especially if Ronaldo leaves. And Martial's not here, and Elanga comes through and does that, and he's right. The way that we played first half, he's absolutely right. But with that being said, I just don't understand from coming from the game that we just played against Leeds to this. I just don't get it. What happened from that game to this? I just don't understand. Is it the nerves? Is it players got nervous? I don't get it. Scott McTominay, he's not in the game. I just don't get it. We just seemed out of it the first half. And Ralph's probably, as he said in his comments, he sounds like he's very pissed. He clearly sounds pissed. And he's probably gone in the changing room in the second half and really gone into some of the players. he's probably really gone into some of the players. And I've seen some of the clips as well, during the game. Ronaldo's having a go at Bruno. Ronaldo's saying some things to De Gea. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I saw, and he's pointing like one, is he saying I'm alone up there and whatever, and I'm not getting any support? I don't know what it is, but he's right, and I appreciate those comments. Yeah, coming from him. I'll be looking forward to the full press conference afterwards. Anyways, see what he has to say.
Certainly. Sam says he is saying that all these guys have big egos and feel self-entitled. They don't stick to Ranić's plan, and they do whatever they feel like doing. They need a spanking. Wow. That took a turn, didn't it? David Lee says, smash a like on the like button. Yes, we've got nearly 500 people watching, so be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner as well, and join the Discord. There's a link in the description box to join the Discord as well. Join the ever-growing United View community. Super chat from Malika says, they were also poor. Our striker has to drop so deep to receive the ball. What the F is that? James, what did you think of Ranić's comments there? Because we've kind of speculated a couple of times here on the channel that when we play so poorly, he does have this kind of figure on the touchline that is looking somewhat baffled, being like, this is not how I set us up. This is not what we've been doing all week in training. What are you guys doing? And it's certainly in previous regimes, maybe, not since Mourinho, would a manager come out and just say, look, we were terrible. And I don't know why we were terrible, but we were. What do you think of his comments?
I'm exactly like Faz, to be honest. I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the transparency as a fan, because he's as disappointed and as angry as the rest of us, right? There's, like I said before, there's no way that Ranić could have looked at that first half and been happy with what he saw. There's no way he could have looked at the first half and thought, I told them to do anything like that. And like I said, it's a player application issue. Like, people go down this route of thinking, oh, if we sign a DM, then it'll solve all our problems. What difference would Declan Rice have made tonight if the other players can't apply themselves in situations and can't listen and take on board tactics and just apply themselves in a high pressure atmosphere? Because let's face it, if we want to compete for league titles, if we want to compete for the biggest trophies on the European and worldwide stage, then we have to be able to deal with those pressure scenarios. And quite clearly, Ranić in his press conference then was just saying, listen, like, they're not up to it. They're not listening. They're not doing what I tell them to. They're not applying themselves. Like, he's probably given them simple instructions, and they just literally, there's no pressing. There's no simple passing. Like, we can go through individual players because no one escapes criticism, probably bar Elanga. But we've said numerous times on this channel, like, Bruno, keep it simple, please. Like, you're a miles better player when you try and keep it simple. He tries some daft stuff early on. Like, Pogba looked amazing over the past few weeks. But in Europe, for some reason, he takes a long, long time on the ball. People know it, and he gets dispossessed over and over again. And he was a weak link in our midfield today. And it's like, is Ranić telling him to hold on to the ball for ages? Or is he telling them to move it quickly, to break the lines, to use high energy? And we're just not doing it. So I appreciate Ranić's comments. I'm glad that he's as disappointed as the rest of us. And I hope that one day they can listen to what he tells them to do and apply it on the football pitch.
Faz, you kind of shook your head slightly there when you said Declan Rice wouldn't make a difference. Do you think Declan Rice would have made a difference today? If United?
No. Matic made the difference when he came on, right? If you see it. So you bring this big boy signing, Declan Rice, and just like James said, we can't even have a unity as it is now.
Yeah, there's no.
There is no identity in games like this as it is now. Yeah, we have one good game, two good game, and we're singing Viva Ronaldo, and we're singing Elanga songs, and we're singing all this stuff. All great, hallelujah. But there's no identity. Identity is when you're playing consistently at the highest level, not on a rainy day playing against Leeds. That's not identity. That should be standard, standard business handling. Identity should be playing in this level when you can go and really take the game to them. Right? It doesn't matter if we're playing away. We're supposed to be Manchester United, and they're coming away. They'll take a lot of confidence. They could have gone 3 goals in today. They will take a lot of confidence. I, as a Manchester United fan, do not want draws like this where I'm saying we got lucky today. Oh, thank God for that. No, I don't want games like that. I don't. I want games where I'm winning, when we're winning confidently, where we're playing confidently, when we're playing with conviction, when we have the ball more than 10 seconds in the first half. When we're a bit calmer on the ball, when we're not panicking and going for crazy challenges and getting yellow cards and stuff. So I don't think Declan Rice would have brought anything different. More than anything, I honestly, I don't want to keep saying it, but the captain has to take a lot of responsibility in games like this. He should be the one in charge, keeping the players calm, keeping them switched on, communicating, talking to everyone. The senior players should be doing all of that. But just because you change one CDM or someone in the midfield, no, I don't think he would have made any big difference.
Super chat from Asher says, constantly picking Maguire, Rashford, Shaw, and not rotating the squad is Ralph's fault. These players know there's nothing at stake with the Glazers and this board in control. This is going to be a long month of football for us. You've been mentioning the March Madness, Marcel. How do you feel going into March with a performance like tonight? And Ranić's comments there saying that, again, we weren't good enough. It could only get better because it was so bad. But that comes off of a performance at the weekend that we were somewhat actually happy with. March Madness, how are you feeling about it?
It's madness. And he speaks of control. He speaks of control. Ralph has been speaking about control. And today we had no control. We've got Watford that are going to be able to, and we're not really comfortable at home either. So even the Atletico game in 3 weeks, we're not really a comfortable team at home. So, we really have to start finding control in these games. Moments where we can settle on the ball, even last game against Leeds. Just, it's so frantic. There's, if teams want to press on us, we give the ball away to them. We concede, we go into our shell. So we really somebody needs to be able to get hold of these players and grab control of the game. Faz is right. We need a captain that can look around at these players and say, listen, we are going to sharp shop. We're going to keep the ball for 10 minutes and we're going to pass it and we're going to find areas that the opposition are given to us and we're going to be able to hold this ball and try and break the lines. But they just, a lot of the time players don't get free of their player. They're always just, they're being half marked or they don't want to get free of the player so that they can go on to do and attack spaces. It's a very, very weird time. And March, we've got difficult game after difficult game, Owen, as we all know. So I really don't. It just doesn't look good for us. We have to win this game against Watford coming up, and March is just a very, very difficult set of games. And Atletico's in that as well. A lot of them at home. To be fair, so hopefully the crowd can support this team and really push this team through some of these results. But when it's just so, 1 week it's good, 1 week it's bad, one half it's really good, and next 20 minutes it's really bad. I don't know.
Yeah, and actually Spurs away from the Champions League, Spurs lost tonight, didn't they, to Burnley as well?
Yeah.
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants the fourth spot. Faz, then you mentioned it there then, after tonight's performance and draw. I mean, how are you feeling then going into, I think it's 3 weeks' time, leg 2? Are we maybe a slightly overconfident a little bit going into the game at Old Trafford, given that there aren't any away goals? It's still level, and we know what Manchester United could show up. So are we somewhat maybe overconfident coming out of this evening?
Yes, I think so. 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt. Can't get to where was Ronaldo today? Somebody tell me where they saw him on the pitch, because I didn't see him. The free kick went miles above. He didn't even hit the wall. No, we can't. I'm not getting ahead and thinking just because we got some big names and big signings, big players in the squad. Nope. Absolutely not. Not like this anyways. There's no confidence in this. I mean, well done Elanga for scoring, but the way he struck that ball, it almost looked like he wasn't gonna go. He almost like I think he meant something else. He meant to kick it something else, like with more of an impact, and it just kind of slid off his boot. That's what it seemed like, and then he just caught the goalkeeper off guard and slid in. So extremely lucky. You can't. How lucky are we gonna get? And especially March Madness, who do we have in March? We've got Atletico to play. We have Tottenham to play as well, don't we?
Yeah.
And you saw what Tottenham did to Man City, right? Sure, they lost today, but they turn up in the big games. They turn up against the big boys. And with Harry Kane's confidence, with Conte's confidence, he seems to be smiling when he's doing press conference and stuff. Apparently, he's building whatever. Can't be we lose one game, we're done. Top four's done. I have absolutely no confidence. One game at a time, please. Hashtag one game at a time. No confidence for me.
Which is fair. I mean, you have said that several times. One game at a time. Take it one game at a time. I mentioned it earlier, James. We were saying advantage United, but to build on what Faz is saying there, I mean, would we be slightly naive to think that, it's Old Trafford, so we're going to win the game? Is it a case of actually looking at the performance tonight, looking at what wasn't Atletico's strongest side either? They had a lot of players that weren't playing this evening, whether suspension, COVID, injury, whatever. Do we have to be also a little bit realistic and say, actually, you know what, this is going to be really tight in 3 weeks' time?
Yeah, we'd be really naive to not take tonight into account. I think if you completely forgot about tonight and you just think it's a one-off game in 3 weeks, then you probably fancy our chances if we haven't seen that performance tonight. But without their strongest 11, we put out a team tonight that we thought obviously tactically was a bit different, but it's not that far off our strongest 11. You can make arguments for Maguire not being in it and, Dalot being in instead of Lindelof and maybe McTominay instead of Fred. But apart from that, it was pretty solid, to be honest. So we have no reason to be confident, mate. We were not good tonight. And I mean seriously not good. I don't know whether we had more passengers on the pitch or the Ryanair flight back from Madrid is going to have more passengers on it, because we carried everyone today. We were absolutely awful. Every single one of our players, like I said, bar Elanga, not good enough. So am I going into the game in 3 weeks hoping we can win? Of course I am. Am I expecting us to win? Next question, Owen.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcel, this was a really interesting stat from the first half, and it kind of sums up how just well off at Manchester United were. So Manchester United did not have one touch, not one, in the opposition area in the first half against Atletico Madrid. That is the first time they've done that in the Champions League, at least since the 2005 to 2006 campaign. So we're talking, well over 15 years. We didn't have one touch in the opposition penalty area in that first half. Again, surely it's a case of we can't replicate that, right? Surely it can't be that bad again, can it?
Well, I want to give a bit of credit to Atletico. The way that they set up and they hold the middle of the pitch, it's going to be difficult to get in their box anyway. They haven't been playing well recently. Yes, but they've won a few games here and there. Their results have been a bit similar to ours, win games, play poorly sometimes. But at the end of the day, they do a very good defensive job. Yes, it can't get worse than this, but at the end of the day, this is about characters. This next month, we have a finishing 7th, 8th, or we're around 3rd and 4th position at the end of this month coming up. This is about characters and do we really want this? Players are on good money. Good wages, good salary. They're complaining about when they want to train. They're complaining about this and that. Rumors everywhere. They have to now come and show that if they want to be top players and be competing in the Champions League next season. It's as simple as that. So it can't be worse than this. Credit to Atletico because they played really well and they made it so difficult for us. We had to really play wide and try and get out around the outsides of them. And nobody wanted to take the risk. Nobody wanted to carry the ball a lot. And players were shying away from the responsibility of taking on the ball and taking chances. But it's about characters now this next month. We need big players, big Man United players to show up at Old Trafford because a lot of the games will be at Old Trafford.
Ishak says, big up Owen, Faz, James, and Lil Nas X. Why do you dislike De Gea?
I don't dislike him. I just feel like his distribution is really poor and it concedes a lot of chances for us. In every single game that we played recently, he will concede a chance because he's not clearing the ball. He's a goalkeeper. He should clear at least over the halfway line, but he never does that. It falls to a player, opposition player, and they have a chance to counterattack us. The modern keeper of today is given is starting counterattacks. Is clearing, coming out from his box and making big tackles. Mendy done it the other day. They're really affecting how high your team can now play because they're defending so much space. Whereas De Gea is a world-class shot stopper, the best out of all of them. But he has to go and work on this game, and he's on 300 and something a week. He's easily the highest paid goalkeeper that I've ever known. So he has to go and work on that side of his game. I do not hate De Gea. He's a fantastic goalie and our best number one. But that distribution is horrific and it keeps conceding chances for us every single game.
Because the counter argument to the De Gea thing will be that it's the stat he's had is it the most saves in the Premier League this season? I think it's 92, which is 10 clear. But like you said, that's shot stopping, right?
Yeah. He's world class. Oh, he's brilliant. But just Owen, honestly, every single game we concede one chance, and sooner or later the top teams, and we haven't been really playing the top teams, to be honest with you, Owen. We've been playing bottom of the league that we should be collecting 3 points again. Mid-table teams that we should, and we're leading these games. Aston Villa, Leeds, we're leading these games and we're winning them, but then we don't end up winning them. And De Gea has a bad spell in all of those games where he should clear the ball, clear his lines then. But, we're against the top teams now. So if he does that now again in this month, we'll see what happens.
Faz, Paul Pogba, when he was substituted for Matic, didn't look. They did the classic zoom in on the bench. Player doesn't look happy. Pogba was sort of saying some words. I don't know what it was, probably in French. What did you think about Pogba's performance today? And can you necessarily blame Ralph for taking him off?
I think
that was a delay.
Again, you broke up.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. His performance was just like some of the other players on the pitch, just sloppy. It's like not awake, not with it, not ready for the challenge, not up for the game, and getting subbed off. And the camera zooming in on him. He's a big character, right? His contract's up for negotiation. Of course, the cameras are gonna point at him. And of course, he's gonna want minutes. But when it's not going our way, and the manager seems fit that you need to come off. And after, obviously, now the 90 minutes have gone past, we've got the 1-1. I agree with what Ralph did. It's actually given me more faith in Ralph with his substitutions. And I like this feeling. I actually like the feeling of the manager making a substitution and proving me wrong when I panic. I actually like this feeling. I like that he's brought on Matic instead of Pogba. And I was like, one of the most creative player. Bruno's already having a shit show today as it is, and our next most creative player, like the pass that he did to Bruno, wow, he does all of that, and then he makes that pass. And when he made the pass, I was like, what is he doing? And then the way the ball just flows exactly pinpoint to Bruno, and Bruno just fumbles the touch, really. But that's what he can do. But when it's not working, these little odd bits, it's not going to work. You need consistency. And the way Ralph was seeing the game going, he clearly wanted more calmness on the ball. He wanted a big character right in the center of the field. He wanted to slow the game down, get more touches on the ball. And Matis provided that, and Pogba didn't. Pogba was holding the ball too much. And like, I think is it James that said it, or it was Marcel, that he was getting intercepted way too much, right? And going to be upset. His contract's up for negotiation, whether he signs or doesn't sign, whether he's looking to go somewhere else. I don't know, but yeah, his frustration. I couldn't care less. My importance is Manchester United, not Paul Pogba. As much as I want him to sign, my importance is Manchester United. Winning is my importance. The team is my importance, not whether he's crying, his hair's where. I don't care all about all of that. Yeah, the camera could zoom in. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, James, do you think the frustration maybe from Pogba was partly the substitution, but also the fact that, let's face it, especially in the first half, he got absolutely bullied by Kondogbia in the middle of the midfield?
He made Kondogbia look like a very, very good player. And I know Marcel said he had a very good game, and he did, but he made him look world-class, mate, and he's not world-class. He wasn't good enough tonight, Pogba. Like I said, he delayed in decisions. He took far too long on the ball. And I think part of the reason he is annoyed is, like you said, he's got high standards for himself. He's a World Cup winner, a Europa League winner. He's a very, very good, very good. He's a fantastic footballer, world-class on his day. And he's got to set high standards for himself. But let's face it, he wasn't anywhere near up to those standards today. And if we're going to slate players like Fred and McTominay for poor performances, then we have to equally criticise Pogba when he puts in a performance. This is the thing people don't get, right? We're looking at 90 minutes of a football game. Paul Pogba has arguably, along with Jadon Sancho, been our best player over the last month since coming back from injury. He's been superb. Every time he's come on or started, he looks absolutely superb. But tonight, he very much was a problem and he wasn't good enough. So you have to, when analysing the game, come out and say that. I don't take into account prior performances. I'm looking at tonight. We lost the midfield battle. We're always going on about losing the midfield battle with McTominay and Fred. Well, we lost it with Fred, Bruno and Pogba tonight. We were completely overrun, like Marcel said. It was 3-on-2 basically all night. They controlled that. They controlled the tempo. We couldn't get a grip of the game. And Pogba has to take fault for that. So I'm not surprised he was disappointed, mate. And he should be. He wasn't good enough.
Ranick's had a couple more things to say, particularly when it comes to a lot of people talking about the decision to start Lindelof at right back. Ranick has said, quote, to start with, we could do with him, Lindelof, in aerial duels, set pieces, free kicks for and against us. All three centre-halves were in good shape, but after 7 minutes, we were 1-0 down and the plan was in the dustbin. I know this was not Lindelof's best position when we had Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the ball and Alex Telles. We had more possession and more assistance from the wings. In the end, due to the early goal, it was difficult. So Marcel, it's basically Ranić saying that actually, you know, there was a bit of method to the madness when it came to Lindelof playing at right back, but when we went 1-0 down after 7 minutes, the game plan just evaporated. And maybe is that why the first half was so poor? Because whatever game plan they had 7 minutes in had just vanished.
Yeah, and the players look like that's exactly what happened. The players, even Bruno, James is saying, you know, Pogba's performance, which is right. Bruno's performance was bad as well, really bad. You know, Lindelof saves us, like James was mentioning before, with a fantastic tackle. It comes from Bruno's mistake. Bruno loses the ball, and then Lindelof has to come and make a fantastic recovery tackle. Bruno played really badly as well, and Lindelof maybe in the right back, it looked all right for periods as well, and he done okay. He's obviously going to get beat for pace, but he put in a lot of good challenges in there, and good passing, and he came out with the ball at times as well when there were spaces, because there were spaces for the left and right centre back at times, and that's what he was meant to act as at times. So I don't know. Lindelof has been playing well for us, and like we all said before, or somebody said earlier, I think it was James, that, you know, he was the best out of the bunch. You know, Lindelof really was the best out of the bunch. It's a shame he picks up a yellow, but he had to get that yellow. He didn't want anyone to start the counter-attacks, and they looked very sharp on counter-attacks today. Again, credit to them. They looked extremely sharp on counter-attacks. So the Lindelof situation there, again, once we concede a goal, our heads, that's just normal. That's normal for Man United right now. Just look at Leeds, just look at Villa. That's very normal for us. Once we concede a goal, it's panic stations. Everyone doesn't know what to do. Everyone's running around like headless chickens. So he's right. And I really, and like everyone's been saying, I really respect Ralph for saying this, because under Oli, it's protection time and all the players are getting protected and it's niceties, and in the programs, everything's nice. But it's not like that. Players have to be accountable. They earned way too much money to not be accountable for the poor performances.
Faz, build on what Marcel just said there. I mean, what did you think of Bruno Fernandes this evening? It felt like another one of those games whereby, you know, a lot of things he did do were wasteful, you know, whether it was crosses that go miles over the bar or passes that go astray or anything like that. But I suppose the difficult thing is with Bruno is that, you know, he's got that magic in him somewhere and he could just one moment, bang, get a goal or an assist. Is that the kind of dilemma that Ralph's kind of finding himself when it comes to Bruno at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this man, I have a lot of faith in him. You know what he did for us last season, and it was last season, yeah. He has extreme qualities. He can score rockets from outside the box. He like what he did last game, the flick over the player. You know, he's got great qualities. He's an absolutely incredible player, but when he's bad, he is really bad. I mean, really bad. And the difference is so much that you almost forget how good he is. Do you know what I mean? You almost forget his capabilities. And that if I was Ralph, if I was in his shoes, I would be extremely confused. It's like rolling the dice and thinking what's going to come. Either one day he's going to be extremely well, one day he's not going to be extremely well. And someone said in the comments before, it's like, was the pitch too wet, too dry? Because the players seem to play really good when the pitch is wet. You know, it's high. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You know, sometimes he's great, sometimes I have a lot of faith in him. And you know, more than being angry about his performance, I'm just upset because I want him to do better. You know, he's got it in him. He had a shot. Was it first half or second half? From outside the box, trying to do something, and you know he's trying, and he's one of the loudest players on the pitch as well. So he's got it in him. He makes great interceptions. He's got it in him. But when he's bad, he's really bad. He needs to have a deep, hard look at himself. Because I'm going to hold him to the comment he said, I want to win trophies with this club. And if you want to win trophies with this club as an individual, you have to be extremely consistent. You cannot be making silly passes. Your crosses have to be accurate. Your interceptions have to be clean. Your running off the ball has to be clean. It's extremely important. Consistency is very important. That's what gets you trophies. That's what gets you in the finals. Like this, we're done. If we go past this stage and then we drop back, is it someone said Bayern next stage?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, and all the English teams, you can play the English teams, right, in the quarterfinals.
And you think about it, we've got Watford next, City, then Tottenham. He has one bad performance. Top four's gone. Any other players technically, but he has a very crucial role in our squad. He has one bad performance, and we're done. Sometimes, obviously he could play false nine at certain times if shit hits the fan. And if he's not in form, if he's not the one supplying, providing, we're done. So he needs to have a real deep, hard look at himself, especially after the comment, like I said, the trophy winning. And yesterday he said we're playing with identity. I think, all of these things. He needs to really step up his game. He needs to be one of those players that other players are looking around thinking, I've got Bruno Fernandes on my team. I have confidence. I have faith in him. Right now, the way he's playing up and down, I don't have faith in him.
James, it can't be a match reaction without talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. You have to. It's like a press conference. You have to always have the Ronaldo segment. Everyone coming into this game, myself included, I got caught up in it. I didn't think I would, but I got caught up in it. I was like, Ronaldo facing Atletico. I saw the pictures of him walking in, all that kind of stuff. Every time he touched the ball, mega reaction, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, didn't get on the score sheet, didn't really influence the game that much. But can you almost defend him today by saying, look, this guy was unbelievably isolated up front. I mean, I don't think he barely touched the ball, did he? Was it a case of not making enough chances for Ronaldo this evening? Or was it a case of maybe Ronaldo didn't show up? Where do you sit on that one?
It's a bit of both, isn't it? You can't always blame the supply, but then what do you expect him to do when we don't have a shot in the first half? So there's not really much that you can expect him to do. However, I do have to hold my hands up and say I was one of these people that was obviously expecting Ronaldo to have a massive game. I put our 11 to beat Atletico tonight was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Cristiano Ronaldo, 8, 9, 10, 11. Didn't care who the other 10 were. I was like, we've got Ronaldo, we'll win. He always turns up against Atletico, and he's got 25 goals in like 34 appearances or something. All-time top scorer in the Champions League knockout stages, all-time top assists, Champions League knockout stages. So I thought there's no way he's not turning up. And he didn't. However, 180 minutes, not 90 minutes. So I'm not going to stand here or sit here tonight and write him off and say that he won't do it at Old Trafford. But he probably could do with a bit more service. He probably needs to get involved in the game a bit more. He did make a few runs early on, actually, and he made one run down the line, and I thought he should have been slid in. And I think it was Fred was on the ball at the time, and I was like, he should really be looked for there, and he wasn't. And he kind of got frustrated and threw his arms up. And there was another time as well. So he does make runs, but at other times I want to see a bit more energy from him. But listen, he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He can still influence the game. But what other options have we got up there? Does Elanga have the chance of playing as a 9? Because we obviously don't have Greenwood. We don't have Cavani because Cavani obviously plays when he wants, which is apparently never. So who else do we have, really? We have to rely on a 37-year-old Ronaldo, and people can go on about his age and stuff, but he's the best option we've got at the moment. So we have to rely on him, and fingers crossed he does the goods in 3 weeks' time at Old Trafford.
Yeah, 3 weeks. I mean, Marcel, what did you think of Ronaldo's performance this evening?
Extremely quiet, Owen. Extremely, extremely quiet. But it's difficult. He's playing. There's literally they're sitting in their box. So and he's just and he's a player that likes to get involved in the game a lot. So then he's forced to come out wide, and he's coming out wide, or he's coming so deep just to get some of the ball, so he can say he's touched the ball. I think he has a shot from distance in the first half. That's his only really effort on goal. It's really difficult.
A free kick, wasn't it? That felt like the game.
yeah, the free kick, and then I think he has a long shot in the first half as well, just before, towards the end of the first half. But it's just so difficult, and he's complaining. I don't like this complaining that he does, though. There's a moment where he gets fouled, and if he just carries on with the ball and lets the ref play the advantage, there's a little opportunity to go on a break. And then when the ball does break for him and he had a chance to link up with Rashford, it's not really sticking with him because he hasn't seen the ball for about 10, 20 minutes. So then when it does come, it's really difficult. Honestly, it's really difficult. But, hopefully we need him to do the business against Watford. That's more important. Literally, like Faz is saying, game by game. So, You know, he doesn't get the service. Nobody's around him. Bruno doesn't want to play close to him. He's playing in right defensive mid, left defensive mid, trying to spray long passes out to him. We need a structure. We need an identity. We need a clear system. Players need to stick in their position and let the ball do the work and be a bit closer to him. Because like we were saying, you know, he's old now. He is. And it does look a little bit sad when you're seeing him fumble a bit of touches. It's not coming off. 1v1s, getting bullied off the ball sometimes. It wasn't great. It wasn't great today.
Faz, where do you sit on the Ronaldo discussion? Is it a case of him not getting service this evening? Was it a case of maybe too high expectations of him, thinking he was going to be Cristiano Ronaldo 5 years ago, showing up at the Wanda Metropolitano? What did you think of CR7? Both,
absolutely both. Service is extremely important, you know. Of course, it is. As a striker, you're not getting your service, you're not getting fed, and there's no way for you to create chances, you know, whether that be from crosses, whether that be from through balls, whether that, you know, you're making running from behind. So that plays a massive part. And when you turn around as a striker and you're looking at the shit show that's happening in midfield, that's already demotivating as it is, right? You look around and people can string a pass together for 10 seconds. That's already demotivating as it is. And you're dropping in so much as well. I've seen him dropping so much. Sometimes too much, even dropping just a little bit. He's the only man up top, and him dropping in, right? That shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't need to happen, right? He's dropping in to get a touch on the ball, try and create something, be the extra man. No, he just shouldn't need to. They shouldn't come to that. And in terms of 100%, we got too excited. We got sold a dream. Ronaldo's going to score goals when he's 55 years old. He's going to score overhead kicks in his backyard. He's going to, you know, all of that. He's going to do that stuff anyways. But he's not going to be consistent at this age. We got sold a dream. Whatever happened, we jumped that, oh, he's going to sign to this other team. He's up for grabs. Let's grab him. We need him. And we got carried away, and now we're in this position. And I don't want to come on to it, but with the Greenwood situation, we're in deep trouble ever since this guy is gone. Obviously, whatever's happened with him is messed up, but we're feeling it in terms of just the quality of football that he had brought to our team. We're feeling it because now we have to substitute him with Rashford, or some people say Rashbeck right now. That's what we have to, yeah. And Ilanga has to now come in and fill that role. Ilanga has to come in and fill that role because this man up top is too alone. It's like he needs a support system. He needs a grafter next to him, like Cavani. And with Cavani not playing, he's feeling it. He's definitely feeling it. He's not got the legs like he has before. He's definitely I forgot who it was, but just pushed him a little, just shouldered him a little. He went flying. He sat down, and then I think it was Sancho who took a shot. And then, is it Sancho or someone who took a shot? And the keeper, he tried to grab it and he slipped off him. Ronaldo should have.
Yeah.
You fell. You should get back up and get back in there straight away.
It was Jesse, yeah.
It's Jesse, yeah, towards the end.
Yes, yeah, thank you for correcting me. It was just, you get up and get in there straight away. You sat there. You're sat there crying and moaning and groaning. No, I'm not for it. I don't care. I'm not for it. We've won the law. I don't care. Get up and get on with it. And people are going to sing again when he scores again, Viva Ronaldo and all this. He's a club legend, but it's not cutting it for me. It's not cutting it for me.
Super chat from Ben says, on the bright side, Spurs lost. Oh, on the bright side, we didn't lose either. You know,
yes.
Exactly. James, some stats from the game. This is quite interesting, actually. So, possession, we had 64% possession, and Atletico had only 36%. And a really interesting one I didn't really realize is Atletico Madrid had 13 shots. They only had one shot on target, which was their goal, which also paints a bit of a picture of the game. We only had 7 shots, 2 on target. But that kind of paints a picture of the game, doesn't it? In the sense that we had a lot of the ball, didn't do anything with it. When Atletico had the ball, they did do something with it. But if they could actually get shots on target that didn't hit the crossbar, it could have been a completely different story, couldn't it?
It could have been, mate. And I was just going to say before you mentioned that the 2 shots against the crossbar obviously don't count as on target. So they did have 3 gilt-edged chances, really. And the Griezmann one potentially would have been offside. It probably would have been called back. I think it was borderline. But the other one's a gilt-edged chance and should be buried, to be honest. So it should be 2-0 at that point. We obviously didn't create enough chances. They created some, but again, they weren't anywhere near clinical. But what else do you expect from a Simeone team? He's been manager there for 11 years now. Does he ever have more than 50% possession? Does he ever bombard them and have loads of shots? We knew from when it came out in training that he was going to play that system. We knew that Suarez and Griezmann weren't going to play. We knew that Carrasco was out. We knew that Coco was out. So we knew that they were going to struggle and they weren't going to create and bombard us with loads of chances. But at the end of the day, that's what Atletico do. And we nearly fell hook, line and sinker for it. If it's not for an Elanga, a confident teenager that takes his one chance that we had all game, we're in big trouble because we're having a completely different conversation right now. You're getting 3 rather angry men ranting for an hour about how we've lost the game. So Elanga saved you a very, very hard job, Owen. A very hard job.
Josh is in the chat. Just Josh, graphics guru, visual ninja, whatever you want to call him. He's in the chat. Definitely not Mike Phelan, different guy as well. Says some great content coming your way, peeps. Yes, some very good content coming your way because obviously they're out in Madrid right now. I've had to see it the last few days. Actually, I've seen them enjoying themselves in restaurants. Flex FaceTimed me the other day, and as he's chatting to me, he goes, "Is that cod? Yeah, cod." And I see him eating. He was eating. Whilst he was on, I was like, oh, raining here, windy. He's like, oh, look at this is my view right now. I'm like, finally then, Marcel, we'll go around everyone. Second leg, how are you feeling going into it? Are United going to go through to the quarterfinals, do you think?
Yeah, definitely 100%. It's just
look at you being positive again. Yes,
100%. This is a good result. It's lucky, but it's a good result. We would have taken this even if we had played in a more offensive style and a more protagonist style. We would have taken a 1-1. So, yep, this time at Old Trafford, we just need to get behind these players and support these players. We normally feel a bit tentative in there, and we want them to show us a reason to support them. And they have to give us something usually for us to, get behind them a little bit. But, if we can get an early goal, or if we can just control that game at Old Trafford, it's our ground. I definitely feel like we can go through.
Faz, so you've got to balance out Marcel's positivity with you being realistic.
You already think I'm going to be negative. Is that? But you guessed right. Look, you have to think. Look, think logically. I love Marcel. I love his positivity because it rubs off onto me, right? James's positivity gave me. I was texting James all this week. I was saying I'm so excited for the game, but Watford, City, Tottenham, legs are going to be tired. The difference between the days and recovery is going to be a problem. We can't take a chance of resting players in the next 4 fixtures, four games. Can't. All of these things play a massive part. Doesn't matter if we're playing at Old Trafford. A lot of teams have come to Old Trafford thinking they have a chance. Doesn't matter. We will be singing. I'll be there singing to the top of my lungs all the songs. But when Fred misses a pass or an interception, when Bruno tries to cross and it goes in the upper tier, when shit hits the fan, then we're really gonna know what's it about. And also, the away goal isn't in play anymore, right? So
yeah,
that's another crucial point. We're gonna be looking at having to score at least 2 goals to feel somewhat safe. I wouldn't be safe with 1 goal at all. At all. We would need to score 2 goals just to feel safe. And then locking up shop is another story in its own. If Maguire is capable of, if he has the facilities for that. And yeah, like I said, with the recovery period, I think they have an extra 2 days extra above us, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
La Liga, and they usually prioritize their teams in Europe, don't they? They'll allow them to move the game like an extra day to have an extra day recovery. They don't do that in the Premier League.
So this all and them they coming to us. Of course, I believe in my team. I think they will qualify. I think they will go through. But how? I don't know. I'm just being a child at heart. And thinking they'll go through. Come on, United will go through. But if you're asking the 26-year-old logical, clever Faz, I don't think so. Looking at what we did today, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Call me pessimist. Call me whatever you want to call. But yeah, I don't think at this rate we have a chance going through. If a few centimeters this way, that way, the ball goes in there, it would have been 3-1 and we would have been done. So yeah, 50-50, James.
Yeah, I was going to say, Marcel saying yes. Faz is saying no. I believe in my heart I'm a child, but the pragmatic real me, we're getting two different versions of Faz as well. James, what do you think? Are we going through or not?
Well, I'm going to side with the child version of Faz and Lil Nas X up there, and basically say that we're going to go through. Yeah, I think it's at the end of the day, listen, what we saw tonight is not enough to base the decision that we're going to go through. Like, we didn't see anything to give us great confidence. But we've seen loads of time in the past, and people will come at me and say it's not the same team as we've had in the past. We've been outplayed numerous times and won ties before. In recent years, we've done it against City loads of times. In the Champions League, we did it against Bayern Munich in 99. We did it against Barcelona over 2 legs in 08. We've been outplayed countless times, battened down the hatches and gone and won the tie and gone through, or won the cup as we did in 99. So I'm not going to sit here and be all negative and say we can't do it. 100% we can. Ranić's got a fairly decent history in the cup, as I went into in the preview. He got Schalke to the semi-finals in like 2012. So he's a fairly decent cup manager. I think we can go through, man. I'm going to be the eternal optimist that I always am. Ronaldo's going to come good. We're going to go through. And then we're going to get an easy draw. And then we're going to beat them and just carry on winning, mate. And why not win the lot? Just why not?
Well, Ronaldo responds, he's in the chat, and he says, I'm a scrub, and I have no idea that I am. So that responds to Ronaldo. Go on, Faz.
I got a quick question. You know, it's been pondering on my head. If we go through, if we get an easy draw, if we end up in the final, is Ralph at the wheel?
Yeah.
With Ole and give him a blank check?
No, please, no.
We go shopping and forget upstairs. Yo, this is it. Strap in with your seatbelt. Let's go. Is this what we do? I've been thinking.
Maybe. It's like a kid, you know, when kids when they're little and they put the little thing at the bottom of the stairs, the little gate to stop them going in. That's what it would be with Ralph. He was like, I want to go upstairs. I'm like, no, stay downstairs. Little that child gate.
Well, I think that's a discussion that does need to be had. But if you believe Marcel's tweet to KG today, he was like, KG, no, mate, no, don't do it. So I know Marcel's against it. I think it's a discussion that deserves to be had, whether it's the right one or not. But if he wins the cup, I think he has to be in the conversation for sure.
But, you know, we watched the game today. That's something for later on. Look, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Marcel, where can they follow you on social media?
Marcel 11 or 10 on Twitter, and yeah, that's it.
Faz, what about you?
Either Planet Faz or Faz 1996 _ everywhere.
Yeah, I enjoy the Planet Faz name. I enjoy that. It just encapsulates everything. It's everything.
yeah. I'm in my own world, my own crazy world.
Exactly. James, where can they find you?
The slightly less boring at jdixon_88 on Instagram and Twitter.
Ecosystem, James. You could just spice it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
I could do, yeah. Yeah, Planet
There you
J.
go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, look, we're out of here. Manchester United leave the Metropolitano with a 1-1 result. And on to 3 weeks' time. We're out of here. Peace.